Good afternoon. I note that the long-term plan has the same time of action as this critical decade of climate change, and it seems to me that we need to have a much more forceful response by the city during the term of its plan. And I note that the long-term plan provides all funding for climate change strategy actions, and I wonder where the millions that will be required for this is identified in the long-term plan. It's a very complex document, I know, the long-term plan, but I haven't seen many millions in it for climate change. A suitable action, one action could be to subsidise via loans the installation of solar panels on residential and industrial roofs, meaning that the payback would be about 10 years out, but it would provide an improved power network infrastructure and community solar to maximise the benefits. Your leaflet queried whether rates, water and waste spending was appropriate. I think that all looks okay to me. But I think we should invest in our transport infrastructure by increasing the public EV charging facilities and prioritise and incentivise adoption of electric vehicles to try to reduce our fuel budgets. Our facilities, I fully support that we need to maintain our facilities for communities, and we should retain and extend public transport services and certainly retain the Wharenui community pool, which is discussed on and off recently. And I suggest you could delay the Metro Sports and Stadium White Elephants to provide the necessary funding for that if we had to. And certainly don't build an airport in Terrace. Our heritage foreshore and parks, one item that drops out of that is that a more economical route for the 360 pathway, which is an excellent idea generally, but it should not pass through the estuary bird sanctuary, which is it currently proposes that it should. The current work on the coastal pathway includes a 40-kilometre speed limit in part of Monks Bay. It would be much better if this 40-kilometre speed limit was extended right through the Reckless residential and village centre. We've asked for that to happen before, and we're told that it will be considered in the village centre project, but we've recently heard that that is now delayed by possibly decades. Therefore, we think it should be part of the current coastal pathway project, and 2 signs and 2 road markings, or in fact the 2 signs and road markings that are in that project just need to be extended out to the where the school is. Funding for the Arts Centre, certainly we must support the Arts Centre, and funding for the base isolation of the Robert McDougall Art Gallery. Well, I don't really support that because it's a very strong building. It stood up to the earthquakes pretty well. It just needs to be repaired and reopened, preferably as an adjunct Christchurch City Art Gallery in the park, which it would do beautifully. Not part of the Canterbury Museum, I mean. I think that agreement to give the gallery to the museum should be rescinded if it's actually already, whether or not it's been signed, I don't know. So, are there any questions?
Thank you, but the time's come to an end, but thank you very much for what is a very thoughtful and in-depth submission, so it's much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next one is Christina. I'm having trouble